everyone, and welcome to the preview show presented by FedEx. I'm your host, Jonathan Merryman, here with Marty Snider from NBC Sports, filling in for Chris Rice today. Chris couldn't make the trip down, so you're stuck with us
today.
Happy
to be here.
I know, happy to be here. Somebody who was happy this past weekend, Kyle Busch, finally checks that win off of Charlotte on a points-paying event. Impressive there. What were your other takeaways from the race?
Well, I think certainly you got to give Kyle Busch credit. Now he's won at every racetrack, and whatever you think of Kyle Busch, you can't deny the fact that he's able to accomplish this massive goal. So clearly that Kyle Busch and his team took a massive step forward. I feel like the Toyota camp period took a big step forward. They were obviously a little bit better than they've been the last few weeks. They've kind of caught the Fords a little bit. I also think the Chevrolet camp got a lot better. You see Jamie McMurray, Jimmy Johnson, guys like that running well at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Clearly the Fords have been the dominant camp early in the year. Toyotas are getting better though, and now the Chevrolet camp getting a lot better as well. So it could be a very interesting summer. Maybe Fords won't be as dominant in the next few weeks.
All right, let's look ahead to Pocono. Ryan Blaney got his first ever Cup win in that event last year. Had to beat Kevin Harvick to do it.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick coming off kind of, his first ever last place finish. So you have to assume that the 4-car is going to be pretty motivated to be fast again at Pocono. Is he the guy to beat this weekend?
Well, I don't know if Kevin's necessarily the guy to beat. He's certainly one of the guys to beat. To me, I start looking back to what we talked about a second ago. Those Toyotas are going to be very fast when it comes to Pocono, especially Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. I think they're going to be very strong because they love this racetrack. This is another racetrack where Kyle Busch has let a couple of wins slip away in the last few years too, so I think they'll be very strong. I think that's going to be the intriguing thing to watch over the next few weeks is how far do the Toyotas get, and does Ford start playing catch-up in the next few weeks, which could be very possible. But I think Kevin Harvick, no doubt, going to be one of the guys that you're going to have to watch for this weekend. But those Toyotas certainly starting to gain some momentum.
It's starting to get to that point of the season where some first-time winners start creeping their way in there. Guys like Chase Elliott, Eric Jones. We talked about Blaney getting his first win last year. His team, William Byron, teammates William Byron and Alex Bowman, also in that Chevrolet camp we talked about turning the corner. What are the odds we see a first-time winner at Pocono?
I think decent because it's a racetrack that kind of produces first-time winners. But the thing that I think about, though, the Hendrick camp maybe not strong enough to get that win yet. Alex Bowman, a great run at Charlotte. William Byron was running well until he hit the wall at Charlotte. But to me, Eric Jones is the guy that I look at. He had tons of speed at Charlotte. I think there's a couple of racetracks coming up where he'll be very strong. I look at Michigan as a racetrack, his home racetrack, where he could do very well. So I think they now have the speed in that 20 car to be able to translate that to race wins. They got to put the whole race together, and that's what we saw at Charlotte. He had the speed to maybe beat Kyle Busch, but mistakes on pit road, the mistake when he got in the accident. So those little things kept him from victory lane. But I look at Michigan in a few weeks. Eric Jones could be getting his first win.
All right, let's talk about some keys to Pocono. The first thing that comes to my mind is 3 very unique corners, maybe the most unique racetrack we have.
Very difficult racetrack to get around. And if you're a crew chief, you got to focus on that last corner because you have the longest straightaway in NASCAR that you have to get all the way down that straightaway. But the different corners are really the key for this racetrack. And I know with sim and everything, kind of teams show up ready to go and ready to be able to be competitive. This is still one of the most difficult racetracks. And the word you're going to hear all weekend long, compromise. And I don't care how many times you go there, I don't care how many years you go there, you're never going to hit this racetrack perfect. So who compromises the best at Pocono is usually who winds up with the most success.
All right, one last thing for you. Fuel mileage. We've seen a lot of guys win this race on fuel mileage. We haven't had a good fuel mileage race this year, it seems like. So are we kind of due for one of those?
Well, it's become one of those races where you back up the strategy. So you really pit once you can make it to the end of the race. So you'll see pit strategy all over the place because they do that because you can pit at Pocono under green and not lose a lap. So then once you do that, it forces everybody else to come to pit road. So the team that can gamble the most and try and stretch that window as long as they can in that final pit stop, that could be the team that winds up in victory lane.
All right, now that we're through all of that, who are you taking this weekend?
This weekend, I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. I think that this is a racetrack that he loves. I think it's a racetrack where he feels very comfortable. And it's a racetrack we've seen him have some speed in the last few weeks. You looked last week at the Coca-Cola 600. Denny had probably one of the better cars. They had some issues that they kind of lost track position at different times when they got into it with Jimmy Johnson, but they were able to run up front. So I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin this weekend to win at Pocono. Close to picking Martin Truex Jr., but I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin.
All right, I'm going to take Kevin Harvick. If you leave Harvick open for me, he had a little extra time on the couch not finishing that 600 miles at Charlotte. I think he'll be rested back better than ever, and I think Rodney Childers So have him a bullet on the racetrack, that's for sure. And kudos to Chris Rice, who picked Kyle Busch last weekend. He's not here, so we have to give him
Got it right.
Now where you can catch all the action this weekend, it's Sunday at 2 p.m., the Pocono 400. That is on FS1. Marty, we appreciate you joining us today. We appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you check out everything you need to know throughout the weekend on NASCAR.com.